Sai Ram. It was sometime possibly in the year 2003 or 2004 when Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, our dear Swami, was at his Bangalore ashram in Vrindavan, Whitefield. One evening, Swami decided to honor and bless a few stalwart devotees who had served him with great love and dedication for many years. Among these were some teachers from Swami's schools and educational institutions. So, Swami was indicating the devotee that he would like to bless, and Swami's translator on the dais was calling out that devotee's name so that he or she could come onto the stage and receive Swami's blessings along with his token of love. Now, Swami's translator has been with Swami for so many years, so many decades, that he knew the names of each and every devotee that Swami was indicating. Because you see, Swami was not indicating every devotee by their actual name. Sometimes it would be a nickname, a pet name, or Swami would call them by their title, just like Swami would say Vice Chancellor. But the translator would know the name and he would announce the name so that the devotee could come on stage. But then when Swami indicated to one devotee, this person announcing found it hard to pronounce her name and he did not know her name. And seeing this, I felt, I was also there in the audience, I was thinking this must be some new person, relatively new person, because who can be there whom this translator doesn't know the name of? So after a while, somebody from the audience only helped the translator with the name, and then the name was announced, Mrs. Prem Bahl. And when this name was announced, it was confirmed to me. I knew for sure that this must be somebody new, because though I had spent about 5-6 years there already as a student, I had never heard of Mrs. Prem Bahl. But then the devotee who stood up to go on stage to receive Swami's blessings is a person that all of us knew so very well. It was Warden Auntie, the warden of the Sri Sathya Sai Primary School in Prashantinilayam. Everybody called her Warden Auntie. She was Warden Auntie for 6-year-olds and 60-year-olds as well. Warden standing for the strictness, Auntie standing for the love. A beautiful combination of strictness and love, discipline and affection. And nobody knew her by any other name. Warden Auntie it was. It was on that day in 2004 that I got to know that her name was Mrs. Prem Bahl. And Swami blessed her profusely, and he spoke to her so lovingly, like he would always do, like he had been doing for decades before that. Now, not much is known about Warden Auntie or Mrs. Prem Bahl, because she was an extremely private person, an extremely reserved person who was always in the background, never ever spoke about her many experiences with Swami. And whatever little we know of her is because of the impact that she has made on people. In fact, the 9th of December 2017 was the day that she passed on. As of the date of publication of this video, it is exactly 7 years before, and after that, so many thousands of hearts that have been touched by her came up and shared some of the experiences that she had with Swami and what they had with her. I don't have the time or space to go into all the different experiences that people have had with her, but I have managed to glean a few experiences that she had with Swami. This is a life that is so amazing, because this life teaches us how to live life. It also teaches us how to live life. Warden Auntie was born on the 6th of June 1928, and her birth name, the name that her parents gave her, was Miss Bhickoo Dubash. Bhikkhu is another word for bhikshu, and I think that it's possibly a Buddhist kind of name to stand for a person who has renounced everything. And that name so perfectly suits the life of Warden Auntie. She became Mrs. Prem Bahl after her marriage to Mr. Bahl. You see, in many communities in India, it is a practice that when a woman gets married, she is actually changing her family. in terms of her lineage, in terms of her gotra and all of that. She's moving from the father's family into the husband's family, and therefore many of them symbolically voluntarily change their names. And the name that was suggested to her was Prem, which she accepted. Again, so very symbolic, because just as her life has been a life of renunciation, her life has been one of supreme selfless love. Tragedy struck her in 1964 when she was just 38 years because her husband had a massive heart attack and he passed on. At this point in time, Warden Auntie had two daughters, Anita and Geeta, and she performed her roles and responsibilities as a mother with great forbearance, with great patience, with great courage and strength. At the same time, she also performed her duties as a teacher that she professionally was with the same sterling qualities. In fact, I feel these years were training grounds for her, because destiny, or shall I say Swami, had planned for her to be a mother and teacher, not just for these two children, Geeta and Anita, but for hundreds and thousands of children. That part of the story unfolded when she got to know of Swami in 1968. She got to know Swami through a certain Mr. Grover, who happens to be the father of another stalwart lady devotee of Swami, who has spent decades with Swami, who has actually in a way mothered Swami, cooked for Swami. That is Mrs. Ratanlal, or Ratanlal Auntie, also known as Bridge Auntie. In 1968, when Warden Auntie got to know about Swami, she found that bhajans, singing these bhajans, gave great solace to her heart, gave her great strength, gave her her wonderful attitude. It helped in every aspect of her life, and therefore she began to regularly attend bhajans. She got her first darshan of Swami in 1971 when she attended the inauguration of the college, the Sathya Sai college at Anantapur. After that, in the same 1971, she also was part of the summer course in Indian culture and spirituality that was held at Brindavan Whitefield in Bangalore, and under her were a group of students who had travelled all the way from Delhi. You know, in those days it was not restricted only to the students, and there were youngsters from all across India and sometimes even different parts of the world who got the opportunity to participate in the summer course. And she was a teacher supervisor at that time, taking care of this group of students, and that was the time when Swami began to call her also as a teacher. That was very prophetic, that was very indicative of the huge role that he had earmarked for her as soon as she completed her duties and responsibilities as a teacher in the world, and as well, more importantly, as a mother to Anita and Geeta. From 1972 to 1978, Warden Auntie was the service and Sevadal coordinator for the Delhi city, and she performed her role to perfection as always. By 1978, her daughters were more or less settled, they had grown up, and that was the time the call came. Swami appointed her as a teacher at his primary school in Ooty in the state of Tamil Nadu. The school there was in existence for a few years, after which it was shifted. All the children and teachers from the Ooty school came to Prashantinilayam and they enrolled in the primary school at Puttaparthi. That was what happened with Warden Auntie as well, and she was Warden Auntie for 38 batches of students, and she has been the loving mother, the loving friend, a guide, a companion, a guard, a warden, a teacher, so many roles that she performed to perfection with utmost dedication, love and surrender to her beloved Swami Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. She never cared about herself. She was an epitome of sacrifice. In fact, in all those years that she was the warden, Warden Auntie never went to the hospital, never got admitted in the hospital. It's not as if she didn't fall sick or she didn't have her share of physical injuries and misfortunes. It's just that she was so determined that Swami would take care of her, that with just vibhuti, paracetamol tablets and brufen painkiller tablets, she would manage anything and everything that she was suffering from. In fact, on one occasion when she had a fall and there was a fracture in her knee, then also she didn't go to the hospital. She allowed the body to heal by itself just with the help of vibhuti and painkillers. That was a kind of dedication and sacrifice. She would sleep in between all the students. In the prayer hall she would sleep. She would be the first to wake up in the morning. She would be the last to go to bed. And in between these two activities, she would be completely saturated with working for Swami, working for the children, working for her own emancipation. A great karma yogi she was, a great bhakta she was also a jnani. Because so many students have found solace in her wisdom, in her counsel, and everybody would turn to her in the most difficult times of their childhood. Not just childhood, even later years when they were working professionals, they would come to Warden Auntie for guidance. That is the kind of wise sage she was. Every action she did it as worship for Swami. Work was worship. In fact, on one occasion when all the children were taking bath, the whole bathroom complex flooded with water because the drain was clogged. And while they were waiting for the sanitation workers to come and clear, the time was getting late for darshan. And what did Warden Auntie do? She went with her bare hands, put it in and unclogged the drain. She removed all the gunk, the gooey stuff, all the junk that was there. A thing that nobody could even imagine doing. But she did it as if she was worshipping her Lord. Because how can the children get late for darshan? Swami is waiting there. The Supreme Lord of the universe is waiting there. In fact, she would also give bath to many of the children. And when she gave bath, she would consider as if she is giving abhishekam to her deity, to her favorite deity, which is Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. That is the feeling with which she gave bath to the children and then got them ready to ensure that the hair was combed perfectly, the dress was spick and span, and a vibhuti dot like this, like a full moon adorned their foreheads. And she was such a perfectionist that on one occasion when a couple of senior students asked her, "Why auntie, why are you obsessing so much?" She then told them that this is alankaram to Swami. She would consider as if she is decorating her Lord when she is dressing up all these children because they would be presented in front of the Lord. That is the attitude which made duty God for her, which made her work worship. On one occasion, Swami, after the darshan session, just before the bhajans began, called all the primary school students to come onto the portico, the veranda of the mandir, so that they could see him from up close. And all the children were excited. They rushed there to the veranda. They were sitting there and the bhajans began. During bhajans, Swami noticed that one of the children, a boy, was up to some kind of distracted mischief. So from the bhajan hall chair itself, Swami indicated to him and told him to be disciplined and sit. But somehow this boy continued to be distracting, and after the bhajans, Swami came out and it was evident that Swami was very upset. He scolded the boy a little, but he scolded Warden Auntie a lot. He also scolded the headmistress of the primary school. Both these people, Swami said that I don't like such indiscipline. I don't want this student. You send him out. No need. We don't want indisciplined children over here. We want children who are devoted, yes, but they should also be disciplined. And with this strict reprimanding and scolding, Swami left. Now, Warden Auntie went back to the hostel, counseled this boy lovingly, asked him what had happened, got to know what it was. And then she told him, see, listen to what I'm advising. This Thursday, you don't come for darshan, stay in the hostel. Because Warden Auntie possibly knew, being a true devotee of the Lord. See, the Lord and devotee are in sync with each other. The Lord knows whatever is happening with the devotee also knows what the Lord is wanting. Isn't that how Swami praises Lakshmana? Saying that Lakshmana knew, Sukshma Buddhi Galavadu Lakshmana, Swami says. That is, Lakshmana knew before only whatever that Rama wants. That is how Warden Auntie was in her devotion to Swami. So that Thursday when they went to Mandir, sure enough, as Warden Auntie expected, Swami came, looked around, didn't find this boy. And Swami called Warden Auntie and asked, so have you sent him home? Have you dismissed him from the hostel? She said, no Swami, I have not. Swami said, why? She said, Swami, because he's a very disciplined boy. He's a very good boy. What he did that day was a mistake, Swami, and for that I have scolded him, I have reprimanded him, I have corrected him. He won't do that anymore. But Swami, we should not send him out of the hostel. Swami was surprised. How come you have disobeyed a straight command? So Swami went on to say, no, you should send him out. And this went on, Auntie saying no, and Swami saying no, Auntie saying no, he should not be sent out. Swami saying no, he should be sent out. This went on for 5-10 minutes. In the end, Swami smiled and said, yes, whatever you have decided is right. Let us go and do that only. This is a tribute, an ode to to Warden Auntie's sense of justice, her ability, her strength to stand up for what she believes in. And in retrospect, this whole drama, I think, Swami created just to highlight the sterling qualities and beautiful virtues of Warden Auntie as a very fair person. In fact, the senior brother who narrated this incident, Brother Partish Dubey, he says a beautiful quote. He says, Auntie would have been an excellent lawyer or a judge in any of the courts of India, but it was the loss for judiciary. Judiciary's loss was a gain for the Sathya Sai primary school. And how true he is. My wife, Pooja Digumarti, she narrates another beautiful incident with Warden Auntie. This happened when the sports meet practice sessions were going on, and we know, right, already from this incident that Swami expects absolute discipline. Devotion is good, but discipline should not be violated in the name of devotion. So when Swami is coming to see the practice sessions, he wants all the children to be there, and therefore Warden Auntie was telling everybody, finish your breakfast fast, we need to get and be ready in the ground, we need to get going, we need to be ready in the ground. Now Pooja is a bit of a slow eater back then and even now. So she was eating her food slowly and she got late, and she realized with trepidation that she would be late and she might miss performing in Swami's presence. Though it's a practice session, it's a chance to perform in Swami's presence. So she quickly gathered the food. She thought she will not eat. Her stomach felt full. She thought she'll just throw the food and go. But even as she was leaving, child, wait there. She was stopped by Warden Auntie. Warden Auntie called her and lovingly explained to her, why are you rushing now? Because Swami will come. You want to make Swami happy, right? Yes, Auntie. You think Swami will be happy if you waste food? Look what's on the wall over there. And on the wall it was written, Annam Brahma, food is God, don't waste food. How will Swami be happy if you appear to be disciplined and appear to be pleasing him, but you are forgetting the fundamental teachings that he has taught? This is more important. We have to remember what Swami has taught us, and we have to remember that every moment of our life, Swami is watching us, Swami is seeing us. We should lead our life with that awareness. Then Swami will be happy. It was a moment of enlightenment for Pooja. She sat down, finished her food. And was it a coincidence that that day Swami came late for the practice so that Pooja could get in and perform? These are lessons that Swami imparted in the ultimate sense, but through beautiful instruments like Warden Auntie, which has chiseled and modeled and shaped the life and careers of thousands of children, literally thousands of children. In fact, when Swami took Mahasamadhi and gave up his physical frame in 2011, it was because of pillars like Warden Auntie that the primary school hostel and the parents and everyone felt that Swami is still here. The hostel is still Swami's hostel. It is because of stalwarts, devotees. Deshamante matti kadu, deshamante manushuloyi, Swami would say. Meaning, a country is not the mud, a country is the people. So too, Swami's institution, Swami's organization is not the brick, mortar and edifices. It is the people who are there, the people who make us feel Swami's presence. And Warden Auntie was one such person who made everyone feel Swami and feel that primary school is Swami's primary school. It was in June 2017 that Warden Auntie was diagnosed with stomach cancer. And as always, as she had done, she received the news with calmness and with courage. And she just asked one question, how long have I got? It was just a few months. There was no tear, there was no fear. Why tear when Swami is here? Why fear when Swami is here? That is the attitude she had in her life. She was very calm and she went through everything without the slightest complaint. In fact, her daughter Anita, who was now Dr. Anita Kalra, on one occasion she couldn't bear to see her mother in such pain. She turned to Swami and said, Swami, enough is enough. How long, Swami? Why are you doing this? Stop this right now. And instantly she got her answer, not from Swami, but from Warden Auntie. And it felt like Swami only, because she said, hey, who are you to tell enough is enough? Don't tell Swami anything. He knows what is best for me and he is doing what is best for me every moment of my life. Don't tell him anything. Let him do what he wishes because that is the best. That is the kind of surrender that she embodied. And even now, 7 years after that, as I think of this statement, I feel so touched deep within, and I pray to Swami that we are able to get a bit of that Sharanagati, that surrender. On October 24th, 2017, she called her daughters Anita and Geeta and she told them that she had a vision. She saw her entire funeral, she said, and she said that my time is coming, so I bless you. She spoke to them and gave them all the advice that she had to impart, performed her duty as a mother for the final time, and she said that she would like to be left in solitude so that she thinks of Swami and Swami alone. And after that day, October 24th, no more sounds emanated from. I am grateful to Swami that before that day, both Pooja and myself, along with our daughter Bhakti, we got a chance to meet Warden Auntie. We sought her blessings and I feel thrilled to just remember that beautiful moment. Of course, in the physical sense, her body kept growing weaker, but then came that landmark experience on the 7th of December. Whoever was around Warden Auntie noticed that she was beaming with joy as she got up from her bed with an amazing energy that they never thought she would have, folding her hands to Baba's photo there. It was as if she was seeing Swami. Though she did not say anything, her expressions and her joy spoke of the darshan that she was having just a few hours before her final passing. The final passing happened on the 9th of December 2017, and oh my God, I again had the privilege of attending her funeral, and what it was. You know, for everybody in the traditional way, a pyre of wood is made and the body is burnt. For her, fragrant sandalwood was brought because everyone felt that that was some way of indicating the fragrance of her life. So many people for a funeral. I have never witnessed that many people for any other funeral in Puttaparthi. Of course, the only time there were more people was for Swami's Mahasamadhi, and it goes to show how she was a Swami Amsha, a part of Swami himself, because that many people came from across the world, from different countries, different continents, to offer their salutations to Warden Auntie. Such lives touch us, such lives inspire us with the service, the devotion, the sacrifice, and most importantly, the surrender that they embody. Even as we celebrate the beautiful and sanctified life of Warden Auntie, of a bhikkhu meaning a renunciant, a bhikshu, and of Prem, of love. We are celebrating the life of love, the life of sacrifice and dedication. Even as we do that, dear Swami, it is our prayer in our hearts that we too should be as dedicated, as loving, and as completely full of surrender like this beautiful soul. May the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.